Hello everybody, this is the Phenomenal Water FAQ video, and I'm so glad to make it because the same questions, they keep coming up again and again and again, like any business, and we're tired of answering them. I'm sure you're sick of asking, so we call them the 12 Super FAQs. And if you just watch this short little video, you're going to save all this time on the frequently asked question page. You're going to be a phenomenal drinking professional, and everybody's happy. So let's get right to it. First question is, can I go up on my dosage? Answer is absolutely. But let's go through what is going up. There's two ways to do it. First off, if let's just say, for example, like in the mixing instructions, we say to take 32 ounces of water, or a liter, because they're so close, pure distilled water, and mix 1 ounce of Phenomenal into that. Well, if you wanted to go to, let's say, 1.5 ounces, that's fine. If you want to go to 2 ounces even, that's fine. Totally up to you. The other thing you can do is keep the mixture the same and yet drink more volume throughout the day. So let's say you're supposed to drink 32 ounces or 64 ounces of water a day. You could go up to 1 gallon. That's totally fine. In other words, you're going to be getting down the same mixture, just more volume. Totally up to you. If you got a condition you're dealing with, you want to go faster, wonderful. Next one, can I drink it all at once, or do I need to drink it throughout the day? Another answer, totally up to you. Some people enjoy sipping water all day, other people chug-a-lug. I'm a chug-a-lug kind of guy. When I mix mine up, it's like knocking down pins. I know that I want to get through it, and I get through it, and I'm done. But it's up to you. You can. I found, by the way, a quick little piece of advice, people who don't generally drink a lot of water, it's best to go up throughout the day. And what I mean by that is, let's say it's recommended to drink 64 ounces of water. Cut that up into about 8 pieces and just drink, 6 ounces at a time or 8 ounces at a time, whatever it takes, because anybody can drink 8 ounces of water. That's no problem. So every few hours, you're drinking it down, and it works a lot better that way. So the next one, why do we need to keep the Phenomenal covered or to keep the lid on? This is a really good question. It's a little bit complicated. We're going to go through it real quick. The fact is that Phenomenal, the molecule is called a hydroxide. Hydroxide sounds like a big word. It's really not that big a deal. It is an unstable molecule. It's a water molecule that has had the hydrogen removed. And it's not a stable water. And we use that to our advantage because it's looking for hydrogen or acidity to get back to normal. Well, it's so desperate to get back to normal that it will even take the hydrogen from the air. In fact, it's fun to watch. If you put like a little puddle on a shiny surface, a piece of glass or your kitchen counter or something like that, in a few minutes you'll start to see this fog on top. And what that's doing is the Phenomenal concentrate is taking the carbon dioxide from the air, which is hydrogen, and it's converting it to carbolic acid, and it's making that little film. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes to film it. It's really, really kind of cool. But that's also neutralizing the Phenomenal. And it's not that big a deal. We wanted to just point it out so it didn't happen. That's really all there is to it. So it's not like you got to go wham and get the lid back on. It's not that critical. In fact, in a Phenomenal bottle, even if you left the cap off, it's probably not going to have an effect. I mean, even overnight, because the opening is so small. You would have to put it in, like, say, an open glass where there's lots and lots of airspace. And then the same thing is true with an open glass of Phenomenal. In other words, the concentrate, the pH, for example, if you put it in an open glass, let's say overnight, it would start, when you first poured it in, at maybe a 12.25 pH, which is ridiculously high. And overnight, if you checked it in the morning, it would be about a 10, which is a very significant drop. But Phenomenal water that you drink is already mixed at an 11, and it's not going to have as significant of a drop. So be comfortable. Put it in a glass, drink it like normal water. You don't need to be worried that it's going to constantly be being neutralized, because it's not, especially when it's mixed. Just if it's in a bottle, keep the cover on. If you pour it in a glass, just drink it within a reasonable amount of time, an hour or two. But not, you can't drink it the next day if it's uncovered. You put a lid on it, it's fine. There you go. Can I give Phenomenal to my pets? This one is a lot related to the why do I have to keep my Phenomenal covered? First off, giving it to your pets, absolutely fine. They have acid situations in their life just like we do, so it's totally fine. Lots of wonderful, fantastic testimonials from pet owners. But my one little caution is, if you have, let's say, a dog bowl, and you pour Phenomenal in there, it's going to sit in there totally exposed to the air for hours. And after a while, it's going to neutralize itself. So you got to get around that. It's up to you as how you're going to get around that. What I prefer to do, take the dog for a walk and then make sure the water bowl is empty. When they come back and they're good and thirsty, give them their Phenomenal. They drink it up. Everybody's happy. It's not open and exposed to the air. With a cat, it's a little harder to do. They don't like to go for walks. So can you give Phenomenal to your pets? Absolutely. So, can I ever take a break from my standard dose of Phenomenal? By the way, we're almost through these questions. The question to this is, don't you think life is sort of like this, up and down and up and down? Sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less. Once again, it's totally up to you. If there's something going on, you feel great, or you're going on vacation and you just want to skip it for a while, that's fine. But when you get back, definitely get back to it, because it keeps us in balance, makes us feel good, and it's a wonderful thing. But if you need to take a break or slow down, it's no problem. So, can I mix larger amounts, and can I mix it days in advance? Absolutely. That's the cool thing about Phenomenal, is it's totally stable. If it's in the bottle, it's stable. So, for example, one of my favorite things to do is, if you're going to mix up a gallon at a time, well, that's 4 ounces of Phenomenal concentrate into a gallon of water. Or, let's say you have water delivered to your business or to your house. A water bottle is a 5-gallon water bottle, and that's 20 ounces of Phenomenal. So you can pop the cap, pour in 20 ounces. Now, on your water cooler, you have pre-mixed Phenomenal. Beautiful. You can freeze Phenomenal, you can boil Phenomenal, you can let it sit for an eternity. As long as it's in the bottle, it's not going to change. It can't find the hydrogens to neutralize itself. Totally stable. Never happened before, by the way. Not that I'm bragging about it. Kind of proud of that fact. Totally stable. Do you need to keep your Phenomenal refrigerated? I think I just answered that, but it comes up all the time. The answer is no. Once again, you can let it freeze, you can get it hot, whatever. Once it's to drinking temperature, then drink it. It's not going to change the pH at all. The big one. Why do I see white flakes in my Phenomenal? The reason why I added calcium, and this question is going to come up in a second. The reason I added calcium to Phenomenal, and that's what those white flakes are, it's a lot like, I think it was more with old-time refrigerators, but people used to add a box of baking soda open in their refrigerator, and it would absorb the odors or the tastes out of the refrigerator. It's a lot the same with Phenomenal. I needed to stabilize that hydroxide. And so I needed to use something that would also absorb taste. The calcium is in there to absorb taste. That's what it's for. That form of calcium, once it's done its job, is not absorbable by the human body. And the amount is so ridiculously low. In fact, if you look at the label, we're not legally even required to report it according to FDA standards. It's so low. So there's not enough calcium in there to even talk about. It's considered pure water, even if that calcium falls out of solution. And another thing is that you can just drink them, or if it really bothers you, you can filter it out. Happily, it doesn't happen all that much anymore, but if you do see white flakes in your Phenomenal, that's what it is. You can drink them, you can ignore them, whatever. Doesn't matter. You're not going to absorb it into your body. Oh, here's the calcium one. See, I double did it. Why do I see calcium? It's because I put it in there. And I added calcium to neutralize the taste and just make the whole thing work better. All right, we're almost done. Can I take my mineral supplements with my Phenomenal? Well, this is a big one too. I wouldn't take the bulk of it. If you want to actually take, now we're splitting hairs here. This is really not an issue. But if you really want to get down to it, absolutely, you can take your pills, your mineral supplements with Phenomenal. I wouldn't take the bulk of your Phenomenal at the same time. In other words, 8 ounces of water, whatever you got to do to take your pills. And if you're going to drink a liter later, I would give it an hour or two. Let those minerals pass. Let them pass through your stomach however long. But once again, if it's inconvenient to drink it at another time, then don't. You can take them all together. So it's kind of up to you. But I would drink them. I would drink the bulk of your Phenomenal away from your vitamins, an hour or two. Okay, is Phenomenal safe for infants and children? My kids, I would say, were infants when I started with Phenomenal. They've had it since they were infants. They both take a bottle of mixed Phenomenal to school with them every single day. They love it, makes them feel good, and I do. Of course, as a business, I can't say yes and I can't say no. That's up to you as the parent and the adult, but I certainly do. How's that? Okay, I think this is the last one. Will Phenomenal neutralize my stomach acid? This is a really cool question. The stomach is not just a boiling cauldron of acid. Like a lot of us, that's kind of how I always pictured it. It's almost like there's all this acid sloshing around in there. It's not the way it works. When food comes down and lands in your stomach, your body responds also with different strengths of stomach acid. Stomach acid is secreted by the walls of your stomach to do a specific job. And then it neutralizes that, or it acidifies that food and breaks it up, and then it goes with the food to be, to the small intestine to go to its job. Most of the time, your stomach is not full of stomach acid. So the first answer is if you don't have a belly full of food, if you didn't just eat a turkey dinner, then probably not. It's not going to neutralize your stomach acid. Second thing is even if you did have food in there, and even if there was being digested, this is kind of cool. We've all heard of taking Tums to neutralize stomach acid. This is the cool part, because if a person has low stomach acid and their stomach is really hurting them, they take a Tums, which is just a big old glob of calcium mostly. It neutralizes the stomach acid, but it kicks the body on to make more. And so it neutralizes the problem and fixes it. If a person has too much stomach acid, they take the big old glob of calcium, neutralizes the stomach acid, problem solved. So either way, the problem is solved. And it's the exact same thing with Phenomenal. How cool is that? If you have too little stomach acid, your body kicks on and makes more. If you have too much, it neutralizes it. Now don't think your Phenomenal is wasted on stomach acid, because it's absolutely not. Because if you neutralize stomach acid, your body has to go out into the blood, get hydrogen to make more stomach acid. The net result is you just pulled hydrogen or acidity out of your blood, just like that. Really, really cool. So the answer, will it neutralize my stomach acid? It's a yes and a no, but the fact is either way, if you have too much stomach acid, not enough, it's okay. Go for it. It's going to help. So that's it. Finally, we get to the end of these 12 questions. Enjoy your Phenomenal. You are now hereby, ka-ting, a Phenomenal Drinking Pro, and contact us with any questions, but I think this should have covered most of them. Thank you. See you soon.